Have you ever heard of a magical place called SmileALot? It's not on any ordinary map, but if you close your eyes and imagine the happiest, shiniest land you can think of, you might just find yourself there. SmileALot is a land where every corner sparkles, and every day begins with a big, bright grin. It's the shiniest place in the world. The sun glimmers off every rooftop, and the streets are so clean you could see your reflection in them. Everywhere you look, there's a twinkle or a glint, as if the whole town is made of diamonds and pearls. Even the sky is special here. It stretches above like a giant happy grin, beaming down on everyone below. The clouds aren't just ordinary clouds either. They're fluffy puffs of minty toothpaste, swirling and twirling, leaving the air smelling fresh and cool. And if you listen closely, you'll hear the rivers gurgling, not with water but with sparkling blue mouthwash. Bubbles pop and fizz as the river winds through the land, keeping everything extra clean and fresh. Living in SmileALot are the pearly whites, cheerful teeth of all shapes and sizes. Some are tall and pointy, others are round and chubby, but all of them love to dance, sing, and shine together. Every day is a celebration, and music fills the air as the pearly whites twirl and laugh. Their very best friend is Sparkle, the tooth fairy. She's not just any fairy. She has flossy wings that shimmer in the sunlight and a magical wand that zaps everything with extra sparkle. Whenever Sparkle is near, you know something wonderful is about to happen. Sparkle zips and zooms all over SmileALot, making sure every pearly white is happy, healthy, and bright. She sprinkles her magic dust, and suddenly, smiles are even wider and shinier than before. The pearly whites adore her, and together they make sure their home stays the happiest place around. One sunny morning, as everyone was getting ready for the most exciting event of the year, the Big Smile Festival, the pearly whites polished themselves until they gleamed. But just as the music started and the decorations went up, a strange, creeping shadow slithered over the gum lines. Shadows are never seen in SmileALot. They don't belong here, not with all the light and laughter. But this shadow was different. It was dark, sticky, and seemed to swallow up the sparkles wherever it went. Sparkle stopped in midair, her wings fluttering faster than ever. She could feel something was wrong. Something sticky, something not shiny at all, was coming closer and closer. The pearly whites huddled together, worried and unsure. The shadow oozed and crept over the gingerbread gum lines, leaving a trail of gooey darkness behind. It was a gloopy, icky blob that seemed to grow bigger with every second. This was not good at all for SmileALot. But in SmileALot, no one faces trouble alone. Sparkle and her brave pearly white friends knew it was time to team up, gather their courage, and save their sparkling home from the mysterious shadow. Their adventure was just beginning. The Grime Gang, the silliest, stickiest troublemakers in all of SmileALot. No one knew exactly where they came from, but everyone knew when they arrived, because things got messy, fast. The shadow grew bigger and stickier, oozing across the sparkling white teeth like a slow, sneaky fog. It crept into every corner, leaving behind a trail of goo and gum. At the front of the pack was their leader, Plaqueman Pete, a grumpy blob of green goo with a villainous cape and a scowl that could curdle milk. Pete was always plotting new ways to make things dirty. Right behind him were his giggling sidekicks, Ginger and Vitus. These two fuzzy purple germs loved chaos. They hated shiny things and loved making messes, tossing confetti and sticky syrup wherever they went. "Let's turn SmileALot into Grime-a-lot," cackled Pete, rubbing his gooey hands together with glee. The Grime Gang cheered, ready for mischief. They slithered into the town square, buckets of sugar sludge in hand, ready to ruin the Big Smile Festival. The festival was the happiest day of the year, but the Grime Gang wanted to turn it into a sticky mess. The pearly whites trembled, their shine fading as the Grime Gang crept closer. Molar Mike hid behind a gumdrop, Canine Carl drooped, and the whole row of teeth looked worried. Little Ivy, the tiniest tooth, cried minty tears that sparkled as they fell. She wished someone would help them. The sticky smell of old sweets filled the air, swirling around the town square. It was a mix of melted candy, syrup, and something a little bit yucky. Sparkle, the magical tooth fairy, saw her friends in trouble from above. She fluttered down, her heart heavy as she watched the Grime Gang's mess grow. Her wings drooped, just for a second, as she felt the sadness of her friends. Even her glitter seemed to dim, but Sparkle was brave. She zipped up, her wings shining brighter, and shouted, "Not today, Plaqueman Pete!" her voice echoed through the square. Pete just laughed, his gooey belly wobbling. "Try and stop us, little fairy," he taunted, sure that no one could stop the grime gang. This was a sticky, icky disaster. The whole town was in trouble, but Sparkle wasn't about to give up. The battle for SmileALot had just begun. Sparkle knew she needed help. The challenge ahead was too big for one toothbrush alone. She paused, bristles tingling with determination, and thought of her friends, the only ones brave enough to face the grime gang. Without wasting a second, she zoomed to the legendary Toothpaste Castle, home of the Brush Brigade. The castle gleamed in the morning sun, its towers made of swirling, minty toothpaste, and its gates guarded by sparkling floss banners. Inside, Bristle, the brave blue toothbrush, and his sister Bubbles, the pink-bristled dynamo, were already waiting. They stood tall, ready for any challenge, their bristles shining with courage and excitement. "Is it the grime gang?" asked Bubbles, already swishing back and forth, her energy filling the room. She was always eager for adventure, especially when it meant protecting SmileALot. "Yes, Pete's trying to gunk up the festival," Sparkle cried, her voice trembling with urgency. The festival was the happiest day in SmileALot, and they couldn't let Pete and his gang ruin it. Bristle puffed up, his bristles standing on end. "The Brush Brigade is on the case," he declared, his voice echoing through the castle halls. Nothing could stop them when they worked together. But they needed one more hero. They called for Mr. Minty, the bubbly, minty toothpaste hero, whose fresh ideas always saved the day. "Ready for action!" he cheered, wiggling with excitement. Sparkle quickly outlined the plan, showing everyone where Pete and the grime gang were hiding and how they could outsmart them. Bristle grabbed his trusty bottle cap shield, polished and strong, perfect for blocking any sticky attack from the grime gang. Bubbles donned her shiny thimble helmet, ready to protect her from any gooey surprises. She grinned, feeling invincible. And with a giggle, Mr. Minty hopped onto Bristle's back, ready to squirt minty freshness wherever it was needed most. The team was ready, brave, clean, and determined. "For SmileALot!" they shouted, their voices ringing out with hope and unity. Off they marched, a tiny team on a big mission, their hearts pounding with excitement. Every step brought them closer to saving the festival and their friends. The fate of SmileALot sparkled in their hands. They knew the whole town was counting on them to keep every smile bright and every tooth shining. With courage in their bristles and teamwork in their hearts, the Brush Brigade charged forward. Time to fight the grime and save the day. Huddled behind a giant floss container, Sparkle whispered the plan. "Plaque-Man Pete hates bubbles and being clean, so let's give him the bubbliest, mintiest storm ever." Bubbles would get the pearly whites wiggling and jiggling to break up the gunk. Bristle and Mr. Minty would lead the minty foam attack, circles everywhere. "Brush for 2 minutes, sing the brushing song," Sparkle cheered. Mr. Minty bubbled with excitement, ready to unleash his freshest foam. The plan: wiggle and jiggle distraction, minty foam attack, and a loud brushing song. Sparkle gave a tiny thumbs up. "Ready?" she whispered. The team nodded. "Let's go save some smiles," Bristle declared. They crept out, hearts pounding, ready for action. The bubbly battle was about to begin. "Charge!" Sparkle shouted. The Brush Brigade burst into the square. "Pearly whites, wiggle and jiggle!" Bubbles called, dancing. The pearly whites joined in, shaking off sticky goo. Bristle and Mr. Minty charged at Plaque-Man Pete. "Take this, goo ball!" Bristle boomed, spinning with minty foam. Bubbles and foam filled the air, sizzling on the grime gang. Pete tried to fight back, but Bristle brushed away the sludge. Sparkle cheered from above. "Brush all the surfaces!" Bristle scrubbed every tooth, tops, fronts, and backs. Foam swirled everywhere, a bubble blizzard. The grime gang slipped and shrieked, shrinking away. The great brush-off was a minty, bubbly victory. With a final scrub, Bristle sent a wave of foam over Plaque-Man Pete. "No!" Pete gurgled, swirling away with his sidekicks. The grime gang was gone. The sun molar shone brighter and cheers erupted. The pearly whites sparkled, dancing and singing. Sparkle landed on Bristle's head. "You did it! You brushed for 2 whole minutes!" Bristle beamed. "Teamwork and the wiggle and jiggle saved the day!" Mr. Minty wiggled. "Call me anytime for minty power." The big smile festival could begin. No more sticky spots, just gleaming grins. The pearly whites lined up, showing off their shine. It was the best festival ever, thanks to teamwork and brushing. Victory never smelled so minty fresh. As the festival ended, Sparkle gathered the pearly whites. "Did you have fun?" she asked. "Yes!" they cheered. "And what's the most important lesson?" Sparkle smiled. "Brush every morning and night," they shouted. "For 2 whole minutes," Sparkle giggled. "That's the magic number." Sing, dance, or count to make the time fly. Be gentle and ask for help with tricky spots. The pearly whites felt safe, happy, and clean. The secret to keeping the grime gang away? Easy brush, brush, brush. Sparkle flew off, calling, "A clean tooth is a happy tooth, and a happy tooth makes the brightest smile."